Today on M-Time Video, we're going to restore a vintage 1950s, 1960s era Schaefer beer advertising clock. When we were out on a road trip in Summit Lake, New York, at an antique shop, we stumbled across this find. For only $10, how could you go wrong? It needs a lot of work. Let's see if we can make it new again. We visited this small indoor flea market. And it had a really good selection of antiques and curious items. When we were in here, we noticed that Schaefer beer clock and thought it'd make a great resto-mod project. The clock appears to be working, but the light is not. You can see here on the back it says property of the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company, New York, New York. Display number 615. Then it talks about the type of fluorescent lamp that's in it. So first thing we're going to do is go ahead and tear this thing down and see what we can find inside. So somebody's been in it before because the back talks about removing 5 screws to change the lamp. There are only 4 screws in it. Okay, and right away I see our problem with the fluorescent tube. The holding bracket is broken. Should be a pretty easy fix. Let's go ahead and tear this the rest of the way down. Unfortunately, there's no way to save the chrome on this. It's in such poor shape that we're going to have to paint it to bring it back. Alright, well there's the guts from it. We know for a fact the clock's working. It's missing a second hand. The corners broke off of it. Probably not going to worry about the corner any. We'll see if we can rig up a second hand. And we'll have to do a little work here on the fluorescent tube to see if we can get that running. But for right now, we're just going to set all that aside. We're going to take a look at the body.
Yeah, because even without the beer memorabilia, that sunburst is really cute and mid-century. And I like that it's a sunburst on lucite, because a lot of the old sunburst clocks are brass and dark colors. So it was definitely too good of a find to walk away from.
Using a right angle grinder with a heavy steel wire brush, I cleaned off as much of the flaking chrome as I could get off of it. Unfortunately, where the chrome is still attached, it's pretty durable, and even the brush wasn't able to remove it. So let's see what happens when we throw a coat of paint on it. Alright, so we just pulled into the big box store here. We're going to go in, take a look, see if we can find some spray paint that will work on our resto mod project. And while we're in there, take a look, see if we can find a replacement bulb for it as well. This is the replacement light bulb that goes inside the clock. Pretty standard fluorescent bulb.
I think something flecked, something with a little sparkle would be good for this.
Metallic black stainless, metallic dark metal.
What do you think, black or metal? The nice thing with the upcycling, you know, it's a chance to improve what you might not have liked. I wasn't wild about the gold.
Black sparkly.
Because the cap made it seem as though it's flecked. But I'm thinking even if it's not flecked, it'll give it some depth. If we don't like it, we'll go over it with something else.
Okay, so what I've done here is I've managed to jury rig a second hand from another clock. What I wound up doing was the back of the stem on this particular second hand was made out of plastic, so I used some matches and heated a piece of wire until I could open up the hole enough to make it fit onto the clock. And as you can see, it's running now. I'm going to take just a little nip off the end of the second hand because it's just a little bit too long. Just like that. Okay, so we're finished up with the painting now, and this is what we wound up with. Actually, it looks pretty decent. So the next thing I want to work on here is the base of the lucite on this is really dirty. Remember, this is from the late 50s. So I'm going to take a little alcohol and a Q-tip and see if I can clean this up a little bit. Okay, so as I suspected, the broken socket on the light bulb seems to have been the issue. The other part of the issue was the contacts in the starter. I think I may have this working now. Let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. There we go. So it looks like we're good to go on that. Almost ready to start reassembly. So this is the little plastic disc that's in the center of the clock. It used to have a Schaefer logo on it, but has long since deteriorated away. What I'm going to try to do is sand this clean, and we're going to retrofit it with a simple compass logo created from the computer. After Kara made the design on the computer, we emailed the images over to a good friend of mine who owns a Cricut cutter and cut out these beautiful stickers with the Cricut. Using a little alcohol, I'm going to clean up the piece of plastic before I apply the logo to it. Carefully dry it off to make sure there's no alcohol residue. Peel the backing off the sticker very gently. This is such a fine decal. I'm amazed that the Cricut was able to make a design that intricate. You're very careful to get it centered in the middle of the disc. Once I had it centered in there, I rubbed it down to make sure that it was adhered to the disc properly. And then gently peeled away the facing. That looks really good. What do you think? Well, it's finally finished. Let's turn it on and see how it looks. That's amazing. What an awesome transformation. Vintage Schaefer beer clock. Let's turn out the lights. That's awesome. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching M-Time. Remember to like and subscribe. As always, have a great day.